Hello, everybody. Hope you can hear me. Let me just go ahead and get my little setup going here. So, my name is Shane Britt. I'm the Chief Operating Officer at VP.net. And today I'm just to be talking a little bit casually about the cypherpunk movement and the need for secure systems in today's age. I think everybody can take a gander at the news and everything going on with Discord and the global initiative to stockpile everybody's IDs. And whatever the case may be and the reasoning for all of these privacy violations, it's actually just getting maddening at this point. So something I do is I work with information security, I work with cybersecurity, and obviously I work with zero trust architecture systems to aid in the movement in my own way, I would say. So I'll go ahead and start this off. We'll talk about a little bit about the cypherpunk movement. A cypherpunk is one who advocates the widespread use of strong cryptography and privacy enhancing technologies. Right? That's all we need to know. If you're about that, then you're a cypherpunk. That is something that I feel like these titles should be earned, but I think the more you align with it and the more you vibe with it, you can be a cypherpunk too. And that's the greatest thing about this is that I have a strong passion for looking into how these technologies work, how we can tinker with them. And I'm always living in the terminal, right? I'm always seeing how these things work and how I can apply them to the next big thing. Maybe it can be the next big thing. So I just wanted to give a big shout out and thanks to all the internet pioneers, everybody who's worked on projects, whether they're little small or smaller or grew to be something big. These are the foundation in which the internet thrives. These things started back on boards, forums, IRC. And if you go even further back than that, these things started in university labs. So where things were back then to where they are today it's a massive jump. But all I can say is I'm thankful. We're thankful for things like HTTPS. We're thankful for cryptocurrency. We're thankful for WireGuard. We're thankful that we can secure our systems in which we can have the privacy that we deserve. And I think one of the biggest lines that resonates with me is that privacy is not secrecy. It's two different things, and you learn to adopt that motto over time. So just want to give a shout out to cyberpunks out there. Thank you very much. My name is Shane, and I just want to go ahead and share some technologies and projects that I'm working with and give a brief summary of what's going on in the world and what we can do about these things. So I have VP.net, which is a zero trust architecture network, which means the wire guards and the technology behind it runs directly in an SGX enclave. So when I say an SGX enclave, this is from Intel. It's Intel's remote software guard extension. This allows you to run specific binaries I would say inside of a secure container with encrypted memory and encrypted operations. So with this technology, we look back at the history of virtual private networks. Really, it comes down to it's the layer between us and the rest of the world. That's the only way I could see it. We can add the technical specifications onto why these things are needed, how they work. But at the end of the day, it really is just about that layer between you and the rest of the world. And we feel at VP.net, this layer between you and the rest of the world shouldn't have to rely on anybody or anything and take their word that you are private. And if you want secrecy, that you can have that. So from Eric Hughes in 1993, he gave us a great thing. He gave us the Cypherpunk Manifesto. It's not a Bible or something that we live by, but it is something that we very much appreciate. And you can see where they predicted back then what would be happening today. And we are seeing these things very much happen today. We see in Iran that they just shut off the internet. We see things like Discord where they're forcing a global ID verification system. In platforms such as Facebook and others that are requiring these things, and all for whatever agenda they may have. It seems like it's just rolling all out at once. And we have solutions to these, but the main issue is that most people aren't aware of what solutions that are out there. And these solutions are the Handshake ecosystem and all the valuable things you guys create. It's also sorry about that. It's something that we need people to be aware of and adopt. So I'm going to go ahead and move on. I just want to read this one quote. We cannot expect governments, corporations, or other large faceless organizations to grant us privacy out of their beneficence, right? So they're not going to give us these things. They're going to take as much as they can and turn us into data points. And that's just one thing that we don't stand for, is that we're not data points. We're not some points and some algorithms. We're human beings. And I think we should be valued as such. So with the VP.NET technical specification, we have the Intel SGX security. So the world is moving into zero trust. And that's just every call, every meeting that I have to explain what zero trust is. And it's taking trust out of the equation and being able to cryptographically verify that what's said is happening is actually happening, right? So people can tell me one thing and then it's actually another, right? It's usually the case. But if I can cryptographically verify myself that what's happening is actually happening, and I can get what's called a remote attestation, which verifies from an authentic source that, hey, this is actually what they say is running. And if you want to verify it, you can as well. So that's how we utilize the Intel SGX security. Is we offer a service in which the world has not seen yet. Actually, we are the first in its industry to offer a secure VPN. Now, getting into this, I can sit here and talk about the tech. I can sit here and talk about the how things work, but I'm not going to talk down to you guys. I think you guys are some of the most sophisticated minds that are out there in the underground. Well, we'll just start by saying that hardware enforced privacy. The Intel SGX creates a protected memory regions called enclaves that remain encrypted, even in RAM, and are inaccessible to the operating system, hypervisor, BIOS, and even the server administrator with root access. So this is a big thing. So these other companies and these other projects that are out there, they say that, hey, we don't log, there's audits, and you can trust things, but you can't verify anything. So I just want to moving on. Just want to say that these companies actually admit to these things. Just to get a little bit of awareness out there, if you value your privacy, if you value whatever it is that you want to do, that's between you and what it is that you're working with. These companies actually admit to this. They don't log. They look at the data in real time. So they can get you on, it's technically the truth, right? They don't log, but they're looking at things in real time. And that's something that I think if you can envision the internet and how the great internet engineering task force has created the internet to be, is that anybody can be looking in at any time on anything. And that's the thing too, is that we don't know who's looking in on these things. With the data that's being created on platforms and being, I would say, sold without our permission, it's just not something that's just not something that we can agree with. So when they're able to do these things, it's just a complete violation of privacy. It's a complete violation, I would feel, as what it is that we are as human beings. So I just want to show some love and support for the open source community out there. We have open sourced this technology ourselves. So you can verify with the SGX backend system that what is running is actually running. We have the headless client. So this is for routers, for Linux setups. So the whole goal with my projects is I'm trying to see how I can implement zero trust architecture to the world. But no solution is better than the next, right? We face many hurdles. There's politics going on. There's world level things going on in which now they're trying to ban VPNs in countries and even in specific states. So what is it about privacy that they feel they need to take away these things from us? And I look at these things every day. My team looks at these things every day, and we just can't come to any conclusion. It's one thing or another. We've had the honor and the pleasure of inviting some people on our stream, especially with like flock camera systems. We want to hear what it is from these other companies and projects out there that why do you need this data? Why do you need people to upload their identity? Why do you need people to verify in whatever way you say for you to use these platforms? What's the justification for it? And still to this day, we haven't really found any like solid justification for anything. So as the world moves into whatever it's moving into, I just want you guys to know that there are privacy solutions out there, and there are routes and avenues in which you can innovate and create and implement these things into your own projects. So I don't trust anything. I don't trust things like Dora. I don't trust half the internet. Like now I can't even trust half of what the internet is, what it's saying is real. So with this said, we are moving into a new era. I can't even really talk to an AI because with the projects that I work on, how do I know that somebody sitting in some lab somewhere isn't just taking a gander at what it is that I'm prompting the AI to do? Like, I want to tinker with things. I kind of want to explore. So we come up with a solution. It's the privacy AI. It's the layer between you and the tools that you'll be using for, I would say, probably the rest of your life as these new assistants come in. So AI needs verified privacy. Billions of people will use AI in the next decade. Right now, you have to trust companies not to log your data. So I don't want to get too big into politics. I'm bipartisan, left, right, it's all the same to me. And I feel like a lot of people feel the same way. When you look at this, we see what is it, Anthropics in the news right now because they absolutely refuse to allow their systems to be used for mass surveillance. So they made a stand, right? This is the cypherpunk movement. This aligns with it. So we have, if you want to visit ai.bp.net, you can kind of see where we're going with this. We see Telegram, and I think what is it, Confer. The other companies are starting to implement this too with the enclaves, in which they can offer privacy to their constituents, right? But that's the thing is, can they do it the right way? And I think that we're trying to really aim and do things the right way ourselves. When you're watched, you change, you self-censor, you hold back, you stop being your beautiful, unique self. And ain't that the truth? AI will not change the world until people can use it without fear of being watched. And I think it's very prevalent. I can bring up my own ideas on this and topics with it, but it just doesn't matter. What matters is cryptographic verification. We've built the first system that lets you cryptographically verify your AI interactions are never logged or stored. Hardware attestation proves it. Math guarantees it. No trust required. Complete transparency. You'll see exactly what you're talking to, which model, what system prompts, every detail. No hidden behaviors or black boxes, just complete visibility into what's running your AI. So what is privacy? It's the ability to reveal information between you and whatever it is that you're working with or somebody you're speaking with, giving you the choice to how to reveal that to the world and when you want to do that. You should have that choice. And when that choice is taken from us, kind of resonates why the movement exists here. But moving on, I just brought up some topics here. We look at this, the need for privacy. Claude hits #1 on App Store as ChatGPT users defect and show support for Anthropic's Pentagon stance. We've all seen it. I think with my opinions left out on it, I think people are probably making the right choice by moving back to these things that make a stand. If they don't make a stand, who will? And mass surveillance, it just shows that it's not good for anybody. So with this said, what can AI be used for that's so great? If it can be used for things that are so powerful that they need guardrails on, what are the benefits and the great things with this? AI, it offers a lot, especially in the coding world. It allows us to see new perspectives. It allows us to implement new things. And it allows people like me who may not understand the technology as well as you guys can, the ability to create things and tinker with things. It brings me joy to see how things work. It really does. And speaking of that, seeing how things work, Claude was able to find 12 new vulnerabilities in OpenSSL. Looking into this, I'm not going to explain because it's really complex. It's more knowledge than I completely understand. But if an AI can find the vulnerabilities in the things that we use in all of our software, between every application, every connection out there, you view the web, you use HTTPS. How secure are you with just HTTPS, right? Most websites out there, they don't even have the encrypted hello, which is when you go to view a website. In order for that website to determine which website to serve, your client serves in plain text. Hey, I want this website. Here's my public key. Anybody looking in on that can be like, hey, this person's viewing this website. So where's the privacy in these things? So the world has not yet shifted to the encrypted hello system. Why that is beyond me. A lot of these things don't make sense to me. Why they just can't be understood nor adopted. I hope that they do. And I think I'll push even harder to ensure that they do. I think we can all agree that seeing the HTTPS everywhere movement back in the day, we just shifted from HTTP to HTTPS. Now, this is before the cryptocurrencies came out, the actual really amazing things that can be done with cryptography. I hate to make this boring and stuff. I usually don't do slides. I'm usually on camera and interacting with people. So I do apologize. But if you want to look these things up, these are some really great reads to see the topics that I bring up. Like I said, I look into these things daily. When I wake up, the first thing bouncing around in my head are engineering ideas and what I can do with the tech for that day. And I go look at the news. It's one of the perks is I get to see things before they even hit the world sometimes. We're working in information security. We have to value how we can protect that information, how we can protect that data. So let's move on. Let's discuss the need for data, right? What is this about? We have Slack, right? And then every message gets scrolled through an AI for it to do whatever it does with. Discord, same way. Now I need an ID to speak with people and they say content that the AI feels is vulgar, that I should upload my ID to verify that I'm of age so that I don't get my feelings hurt. I'm not sure if you guys have an issue with that. I do actually have an issue with that. And when you look at these problems and you see the actual, like, when you're actually looking for solutions for these issues at hand, what's out there? You can either upload your ID or you can miss out on hanging out with your friends. To me, privacy is having that atmosphere in which I can hang out with my friends and the rest of the world goes away. That's what that means for me. But how can we implement that? My ideas on this are the zero knowledge proofs. A lot of you out there, I'm looking at your projects today, and a lot of them are just amazing. But it's like, how can we incorporate actual verified identity into these systems in which people value their identities, right? If they don't value their identity, they'll just keep throwing it away and come back anonymous. So there's levels to anonymity, and then there's levels to identity, I believe. These are long topics to discuss. But let's go ahead and discuss the immediately when they started requesting IDs, that everybody started uploading them, and then immediately it got hacked. Everybody's IDs are out there. So with that said, the data is the most valuable thing in today's age, besides whatever's going on in the side of the world. That data today is used for nefarious purposes. I'm constantly getting emails with things that are being scanned on the dark web that are out there. And at some point, is somebody going to just take our IDs and just go verify themselves at us, do something malicious, and then it's on us? So what's the level of this? Why are these things happening? And how can we value our data? And these are the things I look at daily. So if you have anything I can look into and read and actually dive down a rabbit hole for, I think it would do me great. With the whole Cypherpunk manifesto in mind, I think a lot of you guys have some great, amazing ideas and some great perspectives in which, like, I could definitely benefit from, just because you guys live this life. And that's the thing too, is like, when I want to talk with people, what are my options? I have Discord, I have Telegram, I have all these other options that just don't do it for me. I can't trust anything. And that's part of the reason why I feel like the world is moving into a need for zero trust. So moving on from Discord, they face the backlash from everybody. Obviously, everybody's starting to awaken to, hey, we don't like this. This isn't something we vibe with. So Discord announcing their mistake is something that I'm keeping an eye on right now as I'm moving my community off of Discord onto a different platform. Nobody's agreeing with this. Every call I'm on, every chat brings this up, and then they constantly ask me the question, what are you going to do? I don't know what I'm going to do. And that's the thing, and this is where I come from when I wake up every day, is I look at these technologies that are out there. How can I take these and utilize them so that I can have the solutions to this? If they ask me the question, what are you going to do? I think the real question is, what can I do? And I think some of your guys' applications out there really benefit the cypherpunk movement, because you guys have already taken these things into consideration. If I want to have an atmosphere with myself, my teams, or my friends, I should be able to have these things without God knows who hacking the data and walking away with it without any recourse or justice on our behalf, right? So I just want to take trust out of that equation and verify for myself that there's no bullshit going. So with this said, Discord even announced it. We'll just read the top one here. Discord recently discovered an incident where an unauthorized party compromised one of our third-party vendors. Imagine that. This was not a breach of Discord, okay? Or rather a breach of third-party service provider 5CA that we use to support our customer service efforts. So whether it's you or somebody else, it was something that you were a part of, and now everybody else is at risk of identity theft because, putting the blame on somebody else. We're not about it. Moving on from this, so me being a Linux user, and I do apologize, my camera is not working right now. I've had a rough day with infrastructure things, and my terminal's all over the place. So with this, the next upcoming thing, and I feel like the cypherpunk movements I think you guys should probably make some noise about this. This is a new California law says all operating systems, including Linux, need to have some form of age verification at account setup. When I'm talking about zero knowledge proofs, when I'm talking about the need for identity, valuable identity, right, for authentication, for cryptographic signings, we're all looking at these things. But the people at the top, I promise you, if you start speaking half of what it is that you know to them, they will look at you like you're crazy. And honestly, I'm looking at them like they're crazy. How can we implement ID checking into a secure Linux operating system? What happens if I want to use BSD and install desktop on that? And this isn't law, right? They're making it so that you have to do this. And the answer to that is just simply just, yeah, no, I'm not doing that. I don't expect any of you to either. So moving on, or trying to move on, because this is just, actually, this aggravates the hell out. The government of California is implementing a law that requires operating system providers to implement some form of age verification into their account setup procedures. Assembly Bill number 1043. Okay. So if I want to use these underground applications and I want to connect with my friends, or if I want to even speak to new people, if I even want to have a voice anywhere, anonymous or even as me as Shane, I think that's my choice. But I think that now that they're attaching an identity to anything and everything that I do with my devices, I think that it's a step in the wrong direction, and something the Cypherpunk Manifesto kind of warned us about back in 1993. Actually, earlier than that Eric uses, that's just what he wrote. It was actually, these geniuses were aware of these things long before all of this, and what visionaries they were. So, what are the solutions? Because I don't have them. I'm looking for them. And that's the thing, is I'm looking at things with new perspectives, new angles, and trying to see how having a zero trust architecture network that benefits the world, and it does, because it gives you that layer between you and the rest of the world and this crazy stuff. What are my ideas and solutions to this identity system? If you want to view a website, you should view it how you want to view it. If you want to log in, that's on you if you want to log in. So I learned of zero knowledge proofs just from recently back from Google. They open up zero knowledge proof technology to promote privacy and age assurance. How ironic that Google, being a data giant, would offer something like zero knowledge proof, but they have some of the smartest engineers that walk this rock in space. So if you guys want to give this a gander, I've seen some things with zero knowledge proof and why it wouldn't be good and how it creates more problems than it solves. But I just don't believe that, because I think the bigger problems with uploading your ID to attach it to whatever online profile you have is greater risk than anything. And not just because of the man, not just because of the services, right? Mostly they don't care about you. It's the people that get their hands on that data and that information that don't care about you at all, but can now utilize your things without any recourse. There's no somebody in some other country somewhere, even if they get caught, who's going to do anything about it. So it's on us, right? It really is on us. And that's the thing, is if it's on us, and I have a fiduciary duty to protect my communities, my customers, and even my loved ones, the people that I care about, I think the first level of all of this is awareness, right? So if you go and try and explain zero knowledge proof to literally anybody, I'm in Hawaii right now, even in California at tech things, it's trying to explain these things. It's a hard topic to discuss, is what I can say. But I just want to give out a big thank you to Google for releasing this, and the rabbit hole that led me down in zero knowledge proofs on my journey of the zero trust architecture exploration. So big words. Thank you, Google. And here's their GitHub if you guys want to check it out. I'm sure you guys can link me to some other cool projects that kind of work with these things. I'm looking for things that people, as Christopher Chaloni said before me, that people can have a user experience with, in which they don't need to know rocket science to benefit from. So opening up an app on your phone, I'm sorry, but that's between you and your phone, not anything else. If it isn't already like that, it's moving in that direction. So having a voice is, I think, the second step. Be aware, have a voice, and discuss these things in the cypherpunk movement as we innovate and create these wonderful, awesome tools. So I want to say thank you to Handshake and the Handshake community. You guys have been awesome over the years. I've had the honor of working with the creators of Handshake and the pioneers that have pioneered multiple things that led to Handshake. And Handshake has led to, I think, some of the most wonderful community members out there. I think you guys are some of the most intelligent and worthwhile people to speak with that I've ever had the pleasure of speaking with. So I just want to say thank you to all of you. So another project that we're just doing for fun, and we want to see what people think and how we can get people to agree with things, right? It is something that I would say is of concern. If you go check out the Internet Engineering Task Force emails, getting anybody to agree on anything, let alone agree on things and then go do things, it's a hard enough hurdle to overcome as it is, right? We're looking at these emails, and honestly, I'm just like, what the hell am I even reading? And it really puts things into perspective with me. Like when you see that these are the deciders of the internet. These are the deciders of the tools that kind of get pushed into the mainstream. And honestly, I don't believe that. I still feel in my heart that with Handshake and even the other projects that we're all involved with, I do feel like you guys are the internet engineers, right? I feel like that we can push things to the mainstream. And so we have a website called Soju, soj.oo. You can check us out. We have the Cypherpunks there. And this is my open invitation to all of you. I think having a voice it's a good thing. I think meeting like-minded individuals is a great thing. And now that these platforms such as Discord, even Matrix, I think is matrix.org or something requires ID for UK law or something. It's getting wild out there is all I can say. And my options for communicating with people and exploring new things it's becoming a little bit narrow, right? I think we can all agree with that. I think having a voice is something amazing, right? Cypherpunks write code. It is just as simple as that. And there are other cypherpunks like me who like to tinker with that code. So I look forward to speaking with any and all of you. I just want to say thank you to the guys that have spoken before me. It's been wonderful to see and hear all of you guys, everything you guys had to say. And thank you so much for having me here.
Awesome. Thanks, Shane. Really inspiring talk. And again, I don't know if you can see on your speaker side, but there's lots of emoji responses now and positive chats. I don't know if you can see the chats.
I appreciate that. I'll check this chat out. Like I wasn't able to see what you guys are saying, but hopefully there's some great things in there.
Yeah,
sorry guys, I couldn't get my camera working today, but honestly, just coming on here and be able to speak tech with you guys, I think is the most amazing thing in the world for me. It really is. It hypes me up.
Great. Yeah. The Gifted Ape saying great stuff. Giovanni Rossi's thanking you. And Namer Tips is really aligned with the importance of keeping privacy. He says, imagine someone obstructing your identity and impersonating you. I'm paraphrasing, it's a longer message, but yeah, basically a lot of alignment here in the chats. So thanks everybody for participating, and thank you, Shane, for sharing.
Absolutely. And if anybody wants to reach out to me, I'm at VP Shane on Telegram. And if you guys want to reach out to me over on Soju, feel free. I'd love to hear from you guys. I want to talk tech.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Thank you guys. Bye-bye.
The 6th Handshake Conference, HandyCon White, Building the Sovereign Internet, wouldn't be possible without the generous support of our sponsors. Our platinum sponsors, Easy Domains, ShakeStation, Handshake Swap. Our gold sponsors, USwap. Our community sponsors, Handshake AU, Own the Dot, Namebase, GFAV IP Wallet. Powered by Sky Include. Thank you for believing in a decentralized future and empowering this community. Get your free ticket now at 2026.handycon.xyz